This is one of my lawsuits, 215 CV01114, and it states the cause is a prisoner civil rights. That's not true. I've never been to prison. Tanya Grace McDaniel, I'm the plaintiff versus the United States of America. This is a PACER monitor, and that means that it is funded from the federal courts, and I'm going to have to sue them again. In this case, I have sued Lester Hayes, my abusive ex, retired NFL Raider. I've sued the MLB, the NFL. I've sued the media, all of the cable networks. I've sued NASA, the NSA, California, the United States, my county, and in the objections to the magistrate's findings and recommendations, at this time in 2015, they had tried to threaten sanctions on me because I also sued the Department of Justice and the United States because a lawless team game made from an illegal experiment of terrorizing me and violating my civil liberties. At the time, the mayor of Sacramento was Kevin Johnson, and he was a former Kings who had been accused of raping a teenager. And so I referenced that in there because I have disability for being a victim, a crime survivor of rape and incest rape. My incest child fingers rapist older sister, Gina Pickett Prince, reported at Megan's Law. My black rapist of 2005, Pierre Warner. Domestic violence for my abusive ex-retired NFL Raider, Lester Hayes, who is friends of the family of my molester, felon child rapist, Ron Herrera, on Davis, California. Megan's Law related to media and related to cops Zuniga, Garcia, and Hernandez. And they're connected to the Figueroa cops that have been sued from Johnny Burris for beating a black man in 2016. They're friends of Gavin Newsom. The Figueroas and Gavin Newsom assigned Judge Walk, who he assigned a court order 5 years ago for a racist DACA government employee to put a civil restraining order against my free speech, saying that I slandered her name. And she used a 2017 false police report to try to get away with her crimes. She has a cop boyfriend. She stated that she denied her child abuses, her criminal history, DUI, disorderly, and a drug felon family, and said that I was defamating her name as a cause of a 5-year civil restraining order, and then spread a slew of lying slander against me for the duration of 5 years while I was being hostaged in my community. I was not jailed. I was not on lockdown whatsoever. And obviously, if you read things, you know that civil harassment restraining orders are not criminal ones. Therefore, there was nothing criminal to be had there. Any case, she had been harassing me for years. I sued them. They arrested me, but I did not go to jail. And that was on a civil harassment preventative restraining order 2020 CV 1043 in Woodland, California, where she denied her criminal history, this DACA government employee, whose relative, Mercedes Durgan, was hired from Northern Valley Indian Healthcare, who I was assigned to from the DA so that social workers could get me HUD housing because This DACA government employee commits HUD fraud with her cop boyfriend and blacklists me, and they located to my relatives' apartments where I've been my elderly relative's caregiver for years. And they were assigned to get me housing and get me advocacy. And so I documented all of the counseling, behavioral health for my free speech, to which I've posted those sessions that I recorded, A and B Law from California, and I recorded on my YouTube page and my Instagram page, Freedom Wars, my Instagram page, Tanya Grace McDaniel. Any case, so they hired her relative, Mercedes Durgan, to spy and violate my HIPAA rights because they're related to cops, or she's got a cop boyfriend, and they were friends of HUD employees at the time whose relatives were convicted rapists of teenage boys and murderers that raped teenage boys and murdered them and also killed a Jewish woman, Enrique and Jesus Campos. And they're also related to cops and the media that spread lies about me and refuse to give me interviews so that they can spread codes, harass me, cover my perpetrators, torture me. I'm related to celebrities. They made the game from torturing me. It is a game where it is a wag the dog to a totalitarian war zone that we've been living in for many years. And I've been getting closer and closer to World War III. This game, global game, connected with civilians. They've allowed Hassan Minaj, UC Davis Hassan Minaj, my town, related to Cop Patel, to get in the door. A slew of celebrities have collaborated with local UC Davis and Sacramento and so forth to promote them to instant celebrity from a game made from chasing me and my talents in the room. The HUD official, Diaz, related to a cop, Diaz, who harassed me on a dating site many years ago before he was murdered after I was brutalized from police. And then his family this year won Grammy for Best Audio Children's Book for copying my children's book idea, Grinch of Whoville, with original symphony. I'm not saying that their idea was the same as mine, but the very fact that they won for Best Audio Children's Book is the reason. They were not supposed to win Grammy, but because all of these celebrities have collaborated with governments to do this illegal experiment against me and to make a cabal and hate crimes against me, a movement to torment me for years. So I'm just now seeing this on pacer.gov, and now I'm going to have to sue them because now they're spreading lies about me because they hire a shitload of illegal Mexicans at these federal courts that monitor these pacer sites so that, people can view people's lawsuits. So when they lie about me and say that I'm vexatious and they deny me due process and they have these data entry clerks that are Mexican that despise me because I'm against socialism that has allowed the bombarding of Mexicans to take over my community and steal housing and chase after my talents and take my health care from me and do a myriad of things with this racist DACA government employee who I sued, 321 CV 00994, where Judge Chen states that they're allowed to be corrupt, malicious to the point of making grave decisions on people's lives. So anyways, this is a lawsuit that I have never seen And now they're suggesting that I was imprisoned. I have never been jailed, and I have never been in prison. That case was about me suing celebrities and me suing them for their conspiracies against me that went global and terrorizing the shit out of me. So now they have their illegal Mexicans working in the system that have gotten wind of me defending myself against them even before I saw this just right now. So now I'm going to have to file another lawsuit against California, United States, and the court system. I'm already writing a book called The Brave Litigant, and now I'm going to have to include this. I've lived in Davis, California since I was 9 years old, and so any kind of criminal history that would ever be would be in the Woodland court system. It would be in Yolo County. And the only thing I have is that of risking my life for my black ex-boyfriend in 2007, Britton James, who is friends of these cops' families on the DL, and he fucks with these cops' families now, that I risked my life for him 4 years ago. And so that was 18 years ago when the game started. And I've had ongoing lawsuits against Lester Hayes. He's been a part of the game. A slew of celebrities I'm related to, my military cousins. Godfather is Russell Diddy Gates Simmons. I'm a whistleblower against Diddygate, Pedogate, drug trafficking, child abuses, fraud, HUD fraud, totalitarianism, a slew of spy breach and espionage, and their illegal experiment of living rent-free in my head, manipulating me, their Kabbalism, their voodoo cult purge team game made from kill, steal, destroy, and torturing the hell out of me, and chasing my talents in the room. This is what they've been doing for years, and they've been making a slew of scandals against me to violate my civil liberties on extreme levels, and I have already sued the court system and California and the United States 30 times. And this is the first that I'm seeing of this post where they are now lying about me, saying that my case was about a prisoner's civil rights, and it absolutely was not. So I can tell you right now that a damn Mexican wrote that in there, and I have no qualms saying that. They need to get the fuck out of my country. They have no goddamn right being here. They have taken up the court system, whether they speak English or not, or broken English. They take up all of that HUD housing illegally. They take up dignity health care and community health care systems. They hire them and they all harass me there. They deny me my medical rights to be able to get specialists for health care. After they put voodoo on me, they put spying cameras in my relative's bathroom so they can spy on me with their Mexican cop family. And as far as I know, ICE cops have not raided my community, but they sure shit need to. Because the corruption is thick and deep and massively scandalous. And they got white Masons that have covered their ass, that are afraid to be Karens. And enough is enough on this fucking shit. I have sued them for fucking years. And they keep going with their corruption because they want to blacklist me and give me a bad name because I've reported their drug pedogate families that have murdered people and are gangbangers, vatos with teardrops. You know what I'm saying? And the DA lets them out of prison within 3 years of raping and killing people, giving them brand new lives in my fucking community, and then their families work in the court systems and spread lies about me. This type of shit is hella fucking bullshit. They do it in the Woodland court too. They do it all of the fucking time. Because I am blacklisted, because they have made conspiracies against me, and the game made from torturing me. And that game has gone global. You got motherfuckers everywhere of every race trying to pretend to be me, to take any conversation of any type of essence of an idea of me so that they could run after it. Be it that I wear flowers in my hair and post my pics, with flowers, and do jazz music and poetry and, piano and guitar and, symphonies and all kinds of shit. And my renditions radio, all kinds of things they chase after. My art, my magazine, is an assortment of things, these assholes, anything they will chase after. And they don't want anybody to recognize me, simultaneously continuing their conspiracies so that they can keep me blacklisted, so that I will be a prisoner in my own fucking country where nobody has the balls to stand up for me. But they'll stand up for a fucking rapist, murdering Mexican that needs to get the fuck out of my country. And all of their goddamn demonic, fraud asshole families. But they won't stand up for me. There's something extremely wrong with that. Nobody in the court systems. There is no lawyer that will help me. They will help all kinds of people that commit every crime that you can think of. But they won't help me. Why is that? Because they've blacklisted me. Because they want to use me in their illegal experiment. For example, you go on Trellis, and it states that this civil harassment states that the category is civil harassment, and then it says domestic violence from the DACA government employee. Okay, that case has recently been closed, and there was no domestic violence. But they had to lie. Meanwhile, the description states that the cause was negative comments and alleged slander and defamation against this DACA government employee who was slandering my name and used a false police report to state that I slandered her name. So not only did she commit fraud and perjury, but she did so with the court system and her cop boyfriend that allowed her to lie about me because I reported her to her capital job in Sacramento, asking them what their policies were for hiring because I knew she had a criminal history, and she had been hacking my phone, hacking my P.O. box, hacking my bank account, and harassing the shit out of me everywhere in my community and blacklisting me with the Mexican mafia. Meanwhile, this is the 2017 police report where she denies her child abuses, and her DUI doesn't even reference her disorderly of 2011 and her drug felon family. And these cops allowed her to get away with that. This is her police report. And I blocked out her name. And they were suggesting that I was trying to prevent her from being included in Sero Optimist that was helping her to achieve her, capital employee goals. I have a bunch of posts on Lyricsis.one, my Instagram page, where I have all of these pacer monitors that talk about my cases. And here we have Communist Judge Chen of my lawsuit 321 CV00994, where he states that they are allowed to be corrupt, malicious to the point of making grave decisions on people's lives because they were protected municipalities. And they are not. I was suing 16 governments in the NFL and Lester Hayes. And, if you go on this page, you will see this document. Taxpayers are funding this. So it doesn't only affect me, it affects society. So whoever has lawsuits, I filed my lawsuits a pro se litigant. I am the attorney of my own lawsuits because they blacklisted me. So, I studied law for years. I am well versed in letter of law. And, so somebody that has knowledge of law can be violated of their civil liberties because they're protected municipalities. I am the reason why Trump won, because I sent this case to him because I put Kamala Harris on this lawsuit. And Kamala Harris is on this lawsuit because of the fact that she is the relative of the one of the bosses of this DACA government employee, Curry Aguilar. And so I sued her because she is California, and also Gavin Newsom, who is San Francisco and California, and because he appointed a corrupt Judge Walk that allowed this racist DACA government employee to put a 5-year civil non-criminal restraining order against my free speech and a domestic violence cleats on a non-violent non-criminal order, where she stated that I slandered her name as the cause and defamated her name with negative comments and used a false police report denying her criminal history, as I showed that earlier. And I also have documented audio documents of phone calls, A and B California law, of the court system verifying her criminal history and verifying that she used that she committed perjury and had false police reports. They have since closed that case because I have, it's been 5 years. So they recently closed that case this month. But the very fact that I could not get anybody to help me, and I sued them, and they gaslit and told me that they were allowed to be corrupt and malicious to the point of making grave decisions on people's lives, that means our system needs to be shut down because it is entirely broken. There they were admitting that they broke the law and that I'm right. And I referenced all of my other lawsuits as well. Now, Trump won because he was told that he was going to get 40 felonies for not being a protected municipality. And when I sent that document to him, he won the presidency because he was now immune. And then this is a documentary on rapist Ron's friends He's on Davis, California, Megan's Law. He's my molester. He's a felon child rapist, Ronald Herrera, related to cops. And he tried to kill somebody in 2020, any case. And these are my documentaries of putting my incest child fingers rapist older sister Gina Pickett Prince on Megan's Law, and Pierre Warner, my rapist in 2005. There's Lester Hayes, another documentary on Lyricsess.1, Instagram, verifying that I'm on disability for being a victim of crime survivor. And I have my audio during racial profiling documented of him. Makes hate crimes against me for years. And I'm a survivor of rape, incest rape, NFL abuse, domestic violence, and Davis Police brutality. And I'm on SSDI for PTSD. And I have ongoing lawsuits.
And you were very abusive to me. And you were a part of all these conspiracies. I don't recall you hitting me in the head and telling me to shut up. Love me. I got power. You don't have no power. Your ass is broke. Your ass, you are a piece of ass. And you have cops friends that harass me.
So years of hate crimes, years of scandal, years of them blacklisting me, years of their mafias torturing me, and committing every diabolical, slanderous, scandalous conspiracy to do so. Robert Rivas is also part of this. He's on my that lawsuit. His family is friends of my cousin Natasha. His family, Diane Rivas. He was also one of the bosses of this DACA government employee. Deep a part of this scandal of the lawless treason team game. This is Tasha's page. It's hard to see her page. They killed my cousin Michelle. She's with Michelle in this page. She did a memorial on Michelle. Tasha's ex is BLM LGBTQ hairstylist Dr. Boogie Secrets. His godfather is Russell Diddygate Simmons, and Tasha and Boogie share a son, my military cousin who's in Secret Service and covering the game. Meanwhile, ironically, I have my disability payee verifying in this letter on my civil liberties law icon page that I'm lawful and that they're all